You're listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
Who that family? Check out the Pro Shops, the platform stores where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and who that too.
I say who are we? You say Saints. When I say are we ready? You say how? Who are we? Say who are we? Say who are we? 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 This is New Orleans. That's right. We don't treat what you do.
Hello, New Orleans. You're listening to the Sport Co-op, your number one podcast on everything Saints and a lot more. And now, here's your host, Big Q and the guys.
You came up this the second time. So what does that mean to you? And second, I know you like to leave individual goals alone until maybe off season, but was the 100 sack a relief?
First part of that question, to be nominated a second time for the WPMOY for the Saints, that's huge. That's a blessing. That's a nod of acknowledgement of the work that I'm doing in the community. And to me, that's, when I first heard it, initially I was like, it's not going to stop me from doing my work, but if anything, it's going to add on to it. Because, I mean, this gives like an extra light onto sort of the social justice reform that Crescent City Corps is been added on to with the, their training of the NOPD officers that have been a part of their now 2 cohorts, and looking forward to the future for that. It's a nod to the relief work we did earlier this year for Hurricane Harvey, teaming up with United Way. It's always going to be an ability to sort of put a spotlight on one of my favorite inner city youth programs, YEP, which is the Youth Empowerment Program. So, if you would have asked me this for my first nomination, I was like, I don't want the cameras around. Now that I'm older, now that I'm a little bit wiser, I understand that even though I don't want the cameras around, this helps put a highlight on some of the great programs that I've been able to be a part of. With my foundation, God is Love, it's just been a blessing to even be able to be a part of community the way I have been these last, I'd say 11 years, but the last, year, whatever it takes in consideration to be a part of WPMOY. I think that, this prestigious, Walter Payton Man of the Year award can go a long way with highlighting individuals and their work that they're doing, as well as beyond the individuals, the work that is being done. And I still think that there's so many other teammates that are still qualified. I mean, every time I look across the locker room and I see guys like Teron Armstead and Alvin Kamara and Double D, Demario Davis and Malcolm Jenkins, and the work that they do within their communities, that's re-inspiring. So it's a challenge to do more. Like it's a great nod, acknowledgement, but there's still so much more work that I can do and hopefully will be doing in the future. The second part, you're gonna have to remind me because now I just went off on a whole rant.
the 100 sacks, was it a relief to get there?
You can't talk about philanthropic efforts and then just talk about an individual stat. I mean, but I mean, the 100 sacks is a phenomenal achievement. Had I not just had been told I was a run stopper my rookie year and only had 1 sack my rookie year, maybe I would have got here faster. But we're here now. In my wildest dreams, I don't think I thought about getting 100 sacks when I first entered the league. I probably had a third or maybe half as a goal. It was, if I could carve myself out a solid career of, 7 to 10 years, 40 to 50 sacks, a couple Pro Bowls, I think that would have been a phenomenal feat for me, because then I just wouldn't, I wouldn't have had to consider myself a failure next to my dad. But when it comes down to it, to be a part of the Saints organization alone for this last 11 years has been a blessing. to see the teammates I've had, from Jimmy Graham to Drew Brees to Akeem Hicks. There's been so many phenomenal people that I've met, from Sheldon Rankins, Marcus Davenport, David Onyemata. You talk about John Vilma, AJ Klein, James Laurinaitis, Manti Te'o. And that's just mostly defense. I mean, you talk about Robert Meacham, Marcus Colston, Chris Ivory, the Mark Ingram, Saints lead rusher Mark Ingram. Everything that the Saints have meant to me, it goes beyond just sacks. It just goes to the teammates I've had, to the locker rooms I've been a part of, to who I am now, to who I aspire to be. 100 sacks is a phenomenal milestone personally, but beyond that, it's that I've done to the same club. It's that I've had the interpersonal connections with the teammates that I've had that have really brought true meaning to 100 sacks. There's just so much more that you don't see in the personal accolade.
That's Cam Jordan, fam. Much love to y'all. Thank y'all for joining me for this installment of TSC Radio. And, of course, this is a celebration, man, as Cam Jordan named the Defensive Player of the Week after his performance against the Tampa Bay Skunkaneers, in which Cam handled the business, man. He put the Saints defense on Front Street, put Tom Brady on Crybaby Street, as Cam Jordan named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Welcome to this installment of TSC Radio. And like I've been saying for some time now, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. So in this installment of the show, about an hour of Saints talk, we coming right at you. Please feel free to hit the like button. Please feel free to share the show's links on your social media feed and subscribe to TSC Radio, man. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in this installment of TSC Radio. We started the broadcast off with Killer Cam Jordan, the defensive end for the Saints, named Player of the Week, among other things in this thing. So Cam, Defensive Player of the Week, had 2 sacks, forced fumble, and the shutout against the Tampa Bay Skunkaneers. And Cam put it down. You heard his spiel today. Very mature, very intelligent, and doing a lot for the community. Also, on the top of that, 4 Saints players were selected to the 2022 Pro Bowl, and that's also Cam Jordan as well. So on top of the Defensive Player of the Week honor that he received, he was one mention among several other Saints players who was named to the 2022 NFL Pro Bowl. Let's go over that. At least 4 New Orleans Saints players have been picked for the 2022 Pro Bowl with the All-Star Game's initial roster revealed Wednesday night, and they have all been here before. More of the teammates could join them as various honorees back out of the game due to injuries or personal choice, but here is what you need to know. Killer Cam Jordan, his 7th Pro Bowl, the most selections for a defensive player in Saints history. So once again, Killer Cam gets the nod for the Pro Bowl on top of the nod for the Defensive Player of the Week honor. So Cam is having a good week. Second guy, Alvin Kamara, the all-star, all-special, all-NFL running back. And Kamara is the first player in Saints history to make the Pro Bowl in each of his first 5 NFL seasons. Another special player, and AK-41, baby. Safety and defensive back J.T. Gray was named to the Pro Bowl. How about that? J.T. Gray getting a little shine on. 2018 undrafted free agent out of Hell State. And he's a Pro Bowler, special teams Pro Bowler this year for J.T. Gray. And, of course, who else but the Laddie Daddy? Marshawn Lattimore, named to his 4th Pro Bowl, the most by any defensive back in Saints history. So some of these guys stepping up. Laddie Daddy got the big bucks. And what does he do? Give you another Pro Bowl and a solid year of play from the young defensive back. And I remember hearing a lot of the people criticizing Lattimore, saying that he wasn't as good as what he is. But a lot of those dudes don't know what the hell they talking about, do they? Cam and the rest of the fam, Cam, Kamara, J.T. Gray, and Marshawn Lattimore, all named initially as a Pro Bowl 2022 going down. So that's congratulations to our black and gold guys, getting a little respect. All right, let's move on to some more news here. New Orleans Saints plays tight end Adam Trautman on the C19 list. Trautman joins tight end Juwan Johnson on the list. So both the Saints tight ends, and only one that's clear right now is Nick Vannett. And that was mentioned today. New Orleans Saints plays tight end Adam Trautman on the C19 reserve list Wednesday. And the Saints plays tight end Juwan Johnson on that list Tuesday. Trautman in his second season out of Dayton has 26 catches for 245 yards, 1 touchdown in 11 games this season for the Saints, who are 7-7. The Saints also made the following roster moves. They signed defensive tackle Braxton Hoyt to the practice squad and terminated the contract of practice squad linebacker Chase Hansen. So with that being said, as you can see, the Saints did try out several players earlier in the week. Actually, yesterday they tried out 4 people, and they settled for the defensive back. They tried out 2 offensive linemen, 2 defensive linemen, and then settled on Hoyt, who will more than likely come in and help them in the practice squad area. And the Saints really needed some help. Now we're dealing with some injuries. C19 starting to creep up, and they're just doing their due diligence to keep everything moving along. So not good news as we seeing another list of the C19 stuff starting to pick up heading into the season, and we continue to fight injuries among other things. So intriguing all at the same time. Now let's before we carry on with the rest of the news, notes, and items, big ups to the fam. Thank y'all for joining me on TSC Radio tonight rather. We played Cam to start the broadcast off talking about the Defensive Player of the Week honor he received, and of course he was named to another Pro Bowl. Let's hear from the quarterback of the team, Taysom Hill, who was at the presser, who had a presser today for Wednesday. Let's hear about Taysom Hill, his injuries, and other things. Here's Taysom on moving forward as the quarterback.
Before we get into on the field stuff, I just wanted to ask, just in your time here, as you've gotten to know Cam a little bit and seen some of the things he's done off the field, what kind of jumps out to you about him and the work he's done in the community, and just getting this Walter Payton Man of the Year nomination?
Yeah, well, I don't think that there's anyone more deserving on our team, and I think when you come in the NFL as a young player, you find vets to look up to and see how they manage, the stress of football and managing your time with family and off the field stuff. And Cam's been one of those guys that just seems to do it all. And so I would say all of those qualities are things that you try to emulate as a young player, find ways to give back, and he's found the right way to manage his time to make sure he's giving back to the community. And I really appreciate his example of doing that and showing people in the locker room how to do that.
Mike Triplett.
Hey, Taysom. I know we talked to you a lot this summer about completing passes to Alvin Kamara and running backs in general. Seemed like you guys had a really good rhythm going 2 weeks ago, and then maybe we're a hair off this last week. How much more difficult is that than maybe people appreciate, and how close do you guys think you are to being on the same page in the passing game, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to overthink having a couple incompletions to Alvin and, overcomplicate, what that is. His, not most of the time, some of his route trees are option routes, so he has the ability to break in, break out, sit. There's so much variability to these routes, and so as a quarterback, you're kind of reliant upon him doing the right thing. I think that there's a timing element that is hard to mimic in practice. And I'm not making excuses. We need.
Sound like you're making excuses, Taysom.
And that's that. But I'm not overcomplicating the matter.
Maybe you should, man.
I think we'll get it fixed, and but that's really, where from a timing and all of that. That's how all those things factor into play.
Taysom, you really need to overcomplicate it, dude. He break in, break out, but they don't have nothing to do with you put. You got to put the ball on the man, bro. Come on now.
Extra reps, full extra game with that. How have you kind of managed getting it to where it is that more, so you feel like you can throw, I guess, maybe better with having to deal with that?
More accurate. She's just beating around the bush. Yeah. More accurately, Taysom.
So no real update. The finger will be what it is from here on out. It'll be in a splint for 8 weeks from when the injury happened. So this is just how it will be from when it happened until the season's over. So no change there.
Which means that it will be what it is. Hopefully, Taysom, get a little bit better in terms of his accuracy.
During the 5-game losing streak, you talked about how that was kind of a new experience for you in the NFL, and I'm sure you can imagine with the Dolphins going through a 7-game losing streak and being 1-7 at one point in the season. Does what these two teams have had to go through to get to this point where you have a meaningful late December game on a Monday night make this game particularly compelling? Just as a professional and having gone through a new thing and seeing how, what it kind of takes to get here.
Yeah. I think that's very fair. I think for a team to, lose 7 in a row, or we lost 5 in a row, and to find the courage and the leadership to come back and continue to prepare and put your best foot forward to win football games. That shows a lot about a team, a lot about the character inside the building, from management to coaches to players, all of that. And so I think it's a really compelling matchup, and I've got a lot of respect for them as a team and a program, and the staff there, and I'm looking forward to the game.
Got to do better, man, and that's the key point. Taysom saying he's not going to overcomplicate things. I mean, it's not overcomplicated when you have to accurately put the ball on the wide receivers. He used some interesting verbiage right there, and as you can see, Taysom Hill's been asked about his finger, and he's been asked about his accuracy in the matchup. And of course, I didn't like his responses. He wasn't, sometimes his routes are it varies. Sometimes he has options where he can break in, break out. So, I mean, it's like, okay, when he broke in, you seen he was breaking in. Why didn't you put the ball in his hands as opposed to outside of his range where it was a difficult throw? Or several different passes to Callaway or Traquan Smith where the ball was thrown near their feet. What part of the route where they were supposed to break in? They were supposed to break under the soil to make the pass, to catch the pass? Are they supposed to dig a grave and jump in it to catch your ball? I mean, it's just, no. And when we knew about the finger issue, that the finger's not going to improve. He's basically is going to get some industrial strength painkiller, and he's going to have to work that thing out. And if it becomes really a problem accuracy-wise, you might have to come up with some other options there with Taysom Hill. But I didn't like his responses too much in that particular side of the interview. That's why I played it. You got to take responsibility for badly thrown balls. They ain't my damn fault. I ain't throw to some guns. But anyway, let's talk a little bit more about Cam, man, because this show's named after Cam, and it's a big accomplishment what he's doing. And people have to recognize Cam's contribution since he's been with the black and gold. With his sacks, the 2 sacks that he had in the matchup, his second sack, he surpassed the century mark for his career with 100.5 sacks, joining black and gold linebacker Ricky Jackson as the only players that have 100-plus sacks with the Saints. They are the third pair of players to top 100 sacks with the same team, joining a couple of legendary duos such as Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis from the Colts, as well as Lawrence Taylor and Michael Strahan from the Giants. That's pretty damn good company to be in. Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis, they were special when they played. Lawrence Taylor is by far one of the best, and Strahan has some good years as well. Jordan is now tied for 34th all-time in the NFL record books for sacks with William Fuller, Charles Haley, and Cameron Wake. That's pretty good. after dropping Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady 3 times in a series sweep in 2021. He has sacked Brady 4 times, putting him as tied for the fourth most sacked quarterback on Jordan's list. The performance was the 23rd multi-sack game of Cam's 11-year career. It's the third NFC Defensive Player of the Week selection in Jordan's career, and the first since 2019 for the 6-time Pro Bowler and 3-time Associated Press All-Pro selection, who won 173 games with 172 starts, has posted 650 career tackles, 408 are solo, the 100.5 career sack, 2 interceptions, 56 pass defense, 13 forced fumbles, 10 fumble recoveries. And then in 13 games in 21, Jordan leads the defensive line with 42 tackles, 27 solo, his second on the club with 6 sacks, and has added 4 passes defense and a club best 2 forced fumbles. In addition to his football production in 21, Jordan is also the club's nominee for the NFL's Walter Payton Man of the Year award for the second time in his 11th career. So may the accolades flow aplenty for Cam Jordan, whom a lot of black and gold family members were saying, hey, Q, we need to trade Cam Jordan because Cam Jordan ain't doing squat. Well, guess what? Cam Jordan representing. I hope people take notice of what Cam's doing. I mean, missing that Jet game, coming back, and look what he's doing. Defensive Player of the Week, named to the Pro Bowl for the 7th time, I want to say, a nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. So for those who were saying we got to trade Cam because Cam ain't hitting on nothing, shame on you. Shame on you for trying to get rid of Cam. And I still really don't understand the logic of why you would get rid of your best defensive end. Who you going to put in there? There's nobody more stable than Cam Jordan on the defensive line. The rest of those guys don't even come close to his availability. He missed his first game last week due to the previous week. The Jets matchup was C19. He didn't have any symptoms, but they're saying now you can't play. But he missed 1 game in 175 starts. That's ridiculous. So his best ability is his availability, and he's stepping up and showing out. 2 sacks in this game, and we still got 3 games left in the year. Who knows what he can do within that stretch of period of time. So shame on the Who Dat Nation, the family members that was talking about get rid of Cam because Cam ain't doing nothing, man. Cut that out. I'm telling you, people say the darndest things. But anyway, yeah, that was Cam Jordan talking about. We played him early in the show, his accolades, and he is performing very admirably. We just played Taysom Hill talk about his injury, the finger, and how there's not going to be any more updates on it insofar as that the injury has to go its course, which means it's an 8-week situation, and he won't be healed until more than likely the season is over with, and then he'll be fully healed, and then next year everything should be fine with that finger. But this year, he's basically going to get some industrial-sized painkiller, and he's going to just work and deal with that thing. And that's just pretty much how it's going to go right now. But the question, it's got to be affecting his accuracy. That's why the reporters were alluding to kind of working around his injury, the finger. Is the finger getting any better? Whatever have you. And then talk about the chemistry or the relationship between him and Alvin Kamara on the field, him making passes to Kamara. And then, of course, we seen toward the back end of the matchup, the Tampa Bay matchup, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense did so well in the game. They really kind of punished the Saints offensively, didn't let them do too much, held them without an offensive touchdown. Too bad the Saints special teams and defense showed up with an even better performance than what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were able to do. Saints didn't, fortunately, turn the ball over or have any crippling plays to help the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in any situation. Saints simply didn't hurt themselves. But in terms of the offense in the passing game, the Saints didn't help themselves. They did just enough to stay on course. And they didn't score any touchdowns, but they didn't give up the ball. And I guess that was a wash. So, but in the next upcoming game, you come in against the Miami Dolphins, the Saints offense is going to have to put up points, whether it's 21 points a contest with this type of defense. If the offense can score 21 points with this defense, the Saints should pretty much win the rest of these games. if they can do that. The issue is we have a new issue in New Orleans, and I guess it's not relatively new. It's the fact that the Saints can't score the ball. They can't score any touchdowns or having difficulty scoring touchdowns. Or when they do finally get going, it's usually clumped into one quarter like we've seen several times this season when they put up 20-plus points in the fourth quarter and just have an explosion that they can't seem to duplicate consistently. So any certain amount of plays that the Saints have, they simply can't find the right situation to put them in. Now, listen, we got most of our really good offensive talent back. What has to happen is they're going to have to find an answer to the Taysom Hill dilemma, which is his accuracy woes. Yes, woe is Taysom. His accuracy woes. Yeah, woes, because they're not good. They're not good at all, just to be real with you. And they're going to have to find an answer to that. He's going to have to get accurate, or if anything, I don't see him activating Ian Book to come into the game and help as a quarterback. I don't think that occurs. Perhaps the Saints use Trevor Siemian a little bit and mix them together to kind of spark the offense with Taysom there. Perhaps, even though we didn't see that in this last game, because I think that wasn't a part of the plan to have Trevor Siemian to come in and help move the offense. But if Taysom Hill can't figure it out and he's not getting any better, that's if saying moving forward, because everybody's allotted a poor game, maybe two. But the Saints have climbed back into 500. They got back to respectability, and they're in the thick of it in terms of trying to get that last playoff seat, which we'll cover that article as well on the other side of the break. But what's intriguing is the question is, do the Saints answer the riddle? Do they have an answer for the riddle of Taysom Hill, his accuracy, which has been something we've been talking about for the entire season and last season, is his short and intermediate passes, and you've seen him throw a beautiful rainbow pass to Marquez Callaway right over his outstretched hands. That was perfect. But those type of passes from Taysom are far and in between. We've seen another pass when he threw a ball on the rope, looked like he just put it right on that. And those are good passes, but too far and few in between. So Taysom has to step up and improve his accuracy. But the question is, what happens there? What happens there indeed? Do we give in Book? And I hear you, GM Kev. I see you be kind and GM Kev in the building. But this is the issue. Do Coach Payton and the brass go to Ian Book and activate him? No, absolutely not. I know you guys want to see that, but hell no, that's not going. It's not going to happen. But in terms of Trevor Siemian, at any given time, they might feel like they need to go to him for periods so he can spark the offense. And, of course, it gives them an opportunity to utilize Taysom Hill as a weapon. You can use him as a running back, wide receiver, whatever have you, when you move Trevor Siemian in the lineup. And that might be, between the short options that we have as a team, the most attractive of options, to be honest with you. Not using Trevor Siemian a lot, but, in roles. Like, he just comes in, we're struggling a little bit, a handful of plays, almost similar, not as much as you've seen when Drew Brees and Taysom Hill was together, or with Jameis and Taysom, when they were just moving them in, and Jameis would do his thing, and then Coach Payton would run Taysom Hill out there and just disrupt the timing of everything. No, not like that, but saying in a smaller role to help spark the offense and kind of throw the opposing defense off, who might not be prepared to see a Trevor Siemian. You get me? So, I mean, these are options that we might see. But in terms of looking at a guy like Ian Book getting a chance, I simply don't see that. I just don't think that happens. That's all they got right now, and that's the options moving forward. So that's pretty much what it is. Do we Taysom Hill? Now, of course, the short answer would be Taysom Hill gets his shit together and start making passes like he's supposed to, and that will help out things. But we'll see how it all shakes, man. But anyway, we'll cover some more Saints topics, news, and notes on the other side of the break. You listen to the TSC Radio on the PRO Media Network. We'll be back. Go to the saucestorellc.com for all your beard needs. Your beard guy, or if you're a lady that has a guy that has a beard, well, guess what? Now you can get his beard on point at www.thesaucestorellc.com. Balms, oils, wood picks, all the essentials needed for optimal beard grooming. They have it at www.thesaucestorellc.com. They got it all. Go to www.thesaucestorellc.com for all your beard needs right now. Tell them Big Q sent you.
HomeBistro.com. Freshly prepared, home delivered, restaurant quality gourmet meals delivered straight to your home. Choose from over 50 plus gourmet meal options cooked by world class chefs and delivered frozen, ready to eat within minutes and no commit. Welcome to the One Shop Gourmet Food Delivery, specializing affordable options to eat right and feel great. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Every ingredient is handpicked to the highest standard. And why you should buy from HomeBistro.com? Restaurant quality, made with natural ingredients, delivered right to your door. Overnight shopping is available. Diabetic, paleo, heart health, and vegetarian options to eat. Doing business since 1999. Courteous, knowledgeable, and professional support. Complete PCI compliant SSL security ordering, and great meals. Choose from some of my favorite dishes: the Mediterranean chicken with orange honey sauce, the charbroiled chicken romesco, or the grilled chicken breast with sweet and spicy vegetables. No matter what you choose, you can't lose with HomeBistro.com. Eat great, feel good, and save some money with HomeBistro.com. Hit the link in the description section below for more information. TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in Orleans.
Follow the Sports Coma on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Oh yeah, that's kind of funky, man. I like that. Welcome back to TSC Radio. We're in the building, man. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all for joining us. TSC Radio Wednesday is going down. Cam Jordan named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. And listen, that's 100.5 sacks for Cam Jordan as a New Orleans Saints defensive player. He's only behind the legendary one, the Hall of Famer Ricky Jackson, who has 115 sacks. Now, I don't know if Cam will catch him. But listen, second place to Ricky Jackson is not a bad place to be. He's among elite company, to be honest with you, to be up there at that level. And of course, if you look at where he falls at in terms of, if you pair the players of each of the top 100 sacks with the same team, joining a couple of legendary duos, you had him and Ricky Jackson together. And then they compare to guys like Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis, Lawrence Taylor and Strahan from the Giants. So this is rarefied air for Cam to be in. And like I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he now tied 34th on the all-time NFL record book for sacks with William Foley. Remember him? He was a damn good defensive end. Charles Haley, who was just crazy with the Cowboys, played with the Niners as well. And Dolphin Cameron Wake, who was a sack machine. So 34th all-time as Cam continues to climb and do what he do. And besides the sacks, the 100.5 sacks that he was really big on, we know we've been following him. He's been really talking about these 100 sacks, and that's the place he wanted to be, in a 100 sack club. He finally eclipsed that record. He also got the NFC Defensive Player of the Week selection. He's also was nominated for NFL Walter Payton of the Year. And plus, on top of that, if that's not a happy Christmas gift for Cam, on top of that, he was nominated or named for the NFC Pro Bowl for 2022. So a lot going on with Killer Cam. A lot of accolades for Cam Jordan. It's all positive, man. So, yes, he doing his damn thing. You're absolutely right, Kev. Kev said, I guess Cam heard us. He moving around now, no more staying clean. That's what we said. And like in fam, and I just appreciate the family members, the Great Saint Think Tank, because, man, we tell it like it is. We don't try to, we don't spare your feelings or whatnot. We just keep it real. Now, we knew damn well that he had to get that sack. Remember, one of them sacks came, he was lined up on the interior, Cam. Cam you was lined up on the interior, fam, when you went and got that. I guess we told you won't get them sacks. You won't get them extra 15 sacks that you're going to need to catch Ricky Jackson for all time in the Saints. And, of course, those 15 sacks to catch the Saints will propel him even higher in the all-time sack list. And Cam is like, we told you got to move around, man. That's how J.J. Watt got a lot of his sacks. So, much love to the family members that was keeping it real on that point. But, yeah, big week for Cam, man. It's a happy Christmas for Killer Cam, man, to be honest with you. All right, let's finish up on articles, fam. We talked about prior to the break, the Saints placing tight end Adam Trautman on the C19 list. He joins Jawan Johnson on that list. So 2 of our 3 starting tight ends have been taken from us. So Jawan was put on there on Tuesday, Trautman on Wednesday. We'll see where everything shakes right now. Right as we stand, Coach Payton's still on that list. We expect him to come off of that. We'll see if he comes off, if anybody else is going on the C19 list. It's just sparking up all kind of stuff here. We covered that as well. And, of course, let's move into some more news right here. And this one's coming from NOLA. This coming from the NOLA.com camp. And Amy on the scoop. Saints win over the Bucks gives them a boost in the playoff race. That's right, a boost in the playoff race. And really, we wasn't talking playoffs. We were saying one game at a time, approach one game at a time, because that's the approach that you need to focus on in the microcosm. We need to have one win, and if you keep winning one game at a time, eventually everything take care of itself. So here we sitting up here with 3 games left in the season, 2 of them at home, 1 away, and be like, oh, yeah, we got this. One issue is the Saints don't play as well as we anticipate them to play at home. They're better on the road than home. If we documented this and talked about this ad nauseum, that the New Orleans Saints are a better road team than a home team, and I don't understand that. I really don't. Most of the predecessor clubs, but prior to this team, loved playing in a dome. And of course, as they played in a dome, they returned us victories. They gave us victories, to do that thing. But this rendition of the club is not that good insofar as of playing at home, and that's kind of strange to me, that situation's like that. The Saints are 2-4 at home, only 2 wins. They've lost 4 games at home. They're 2-4 at home. The Dolphins are 2-4 away. So something's got to give for the black and gold to handle their business. And of course, on the road, the black and gold is 4-3. So you're 2-4 in the dome and 4-3 away. Crazy, So I would think that the Saints have more of a comfortability playing in the Superdome, but obviously they're not. So perhaps this will change and has to change with 2 of the 3 games are being home games. They got one against the Dolphins, of course, on this upcoming Monday night. And then the following week, they have a matchup against the Carolina Panthers. And then they close out against the Atlanta Falcons, in which they have to go to Atlanta to take them on. So it's going to be drama all the way down to the end of this thing. But let's get into this article from NOLA.com talking about the playoffs and where we sit at currently. With the Saints defensively dominating the Bucks, their chances of making the playoffs are significantly better than what they were last week. After last week's win over Tampa, the Saints are 7-7, have a 45% chance of making the playoffs, according to 538. That's a big jump from their 19% shot after they beat the Jets the previous week, but the Saints still currently are not in the playoffs. And here's the NFC playoff seedings after week 15. The Packers in the NFC North are 11-3. They sit at the top. Number 2, the Cowboys from the NFC East are 10-4. The Buccaneers are number 3 in the NFC South at 10-4. The Cardinals are 4th in the from the NFC West with 10-4. The Rams are 10-4 from the same division. The Niners are also from the NFC West. So 3 NFC West teams, Cardinals, Rams, and Niners, holding up the 4, 5, and 6 spots. And then the final spot is the 7-7 Vikings from the NFC North. Now, the teams on the outside looking in are the Eagles, who are 7-7, who are ahead of the Saints, who won the tiebreaker. That's why we wanted Louis T's Washington club, who've been playing better as of late, to beat the Eagles. They couldn't do it. They were leading, then they absolutely imploded. And, of course, the Falcons are 6-8 along with the Washingtons. Now, why do the Vikings have the number 7 seed? The Vikings win the 3-way tiebreak over the Eagles and Saints based on the NFC record. But let's do a quick rundown of the tiebreaker procedures. First step, all teams must be from different divisions. Since the Vikings are in the North, the Eagles are in the East, and the Saints are in the South, on to step 2. Second step, head-to-head sweep. The Saints and Vikings haven't played this season, so on to step 3. Just because the Eagles beat the Saints early this season, that doesn't have any effect on this tiebreaker situation. That tiebreaker will come into play only if the Eagles and the Saints had a 2-way tie. Third step, the NFC record. Both the Vikings and Eagles are 5-4 in NFC, while the Saints are 5-5. That removes the Saints from the 3-way tiebreaker and puts them at the number 9 for the time being. Now that the Saints are removed after this tiebreaker, to break the tie between the Vikings and Eagles, the process reverts to the step 1 of the 2-team tiebreaker rules, which is head-to-head. The 2 teams haven't played this season, so the step is winning percentage in conference games as established in the article. So then it moves to common games. Now, the Vikings and the Eagles have both played the Cowboys, the Panthers, the Lions, the Chargers, with the Minnesota going 3-2 in those games, and the Eagles going 2-2 in those games, which gives Minnesota the edge and the number 7 seed. So that's a lot to break down, but true and all in its essence. Now, what needs to happen for the Saints? As always, winning cures most. The Saints have 3 games left on the schedule: Monday night against the Dolphins, who are 7-7, at home against the Panthers, 5-9, and on the road against the Falcons, who are 6-8. Now, if the Saints run the table, that puts them at 10-7 and gives them a near lock at the playoffs without considering any other results. Now, per 538, if the Saints win out, that gives them a 96% chance at making the playoffs. If they lose to the Dolphins but win the other 2 games, you get a 64% chance of making in that thing. Now, the Vikings host the Rams, who are 10-4 in Week 16. While the Eagles host the Giants, who are 4-10. If either of those teams prevail, the Saints will remain on outside looking in, as the Saints doesn't hold a 2-team tiebreaker over either Minnesota and most certainly against Philadelphia, who they lost to. Now, if the Saints win, the Eagles win, but the Vikings lose, the Eagles get the number 7 seed over the Saints based on the head-to-head. If the Saints win, the Eagles lose, and the Vikings win, the Vikings get the number 7 seed over the Saints based on the NFC record. If the Saints win, the Eagles lose, and the Vikings lose, the Saints will be the only team in the NFC at 8-7, giving them that seed. Another added bonus is that if the Vikings lose to the Rams, their NFC record will be the same as New Orleans, which could come into play for other tiebreakers. For example, if the Saints lose to the Dolphins and the Vikings and the Eagles also lose this week, and the Saints win the 3-way tie among them at 7-8 for the number 7 seed. So a lot of factors involved in the situation. So what needs to be happening besides need to get into all of the mumbo jumbo of tiebreakers and such and all this kind of stuff is that the Saints just have to keep on winning. Now, here's a list of teams that play for the 3rd wildcard spots and who played this week. Now, the Rams and Vikings, we need the Rams to beat the Vikings to hurt them chance to kind of pull them down. This game could have a huge implication on the pecking order of the wildcard spots. Saints family members want the Rams to win this one because it'll break the tie. So we want the Rams to beat the Vikings in Minnesota. That'll help the Saints move up in the playoff picture. The Niners and the Titans game. The 49ers won back-to-back games leading to the AFC Championship matchup with the Titans, while Tennessee's coming off a loss to the Steelers. So, of course, you see the Niners are 8-6, so, of course, you want the Titans to beat the Niners. The Eagles, you want them to lose every step of the way. They got the Giants. Now, the Eagles won back-to-back games as they remain in the hunt for the playoffs, while the Giants have lost 4 of their last 5 and no longer have their starting quarterback available for the rest of the year. So the Eagles might catch a win there. And, of course, the Saints have to take care of business against the Dolphins. Dolphins have rattled off 6 straight wins and are on the bubble for the AFC in making the playoffs. This feels like a must-win for both teams who are vying for postseason. So, yeah, this is a very good interconference matchup between both these clubs, the Saints, who are 7-7, coming off a 2-game winning streak. And, of course, you have a 6-game winning streak by the Dolphins, who fought their way up, back up into this thing. So, yeah, they come on the road here against the Saints. And really, truly, the question should be for the Saints is, can we score enough points to win this game? And that's what it pretty much going to come down to. Black and Gold needs to make it happen. But the reality is, to get away from all the mumbo jumbo, the Black and Gold simply must win out. That's what it comes down to, without getting help from all these other squads. If the Saints win out, they got 3 games left. Take care of business one step at a time. The Dolphins are up next, then followed by the Panthers, who are not very good but still have to take care of business, and of course the Atlanta Falcons, who are struggling as well. So of course we know you can throw the records out when you play your divisional foes, but at the same time the Saints have to score points. And offensively speaking, if we can average 21 points a game, and I know that's a lot to heap on the offense. That's why I was like, okay, maybe the fix it right now is to kind of mix Trevor Siemian and Taysom together in the offense. I know it's not the prettiest situation we have, but it's the only real situation. They're not going to go into free agency and sign a quarterback and say, okay, you the quarterback this late in the season. It's not going to happen. They're not going to all of a second say, you know what, let's give Ian Book the job and let him carry the team and we'll mix him with Taysom. Hell no. So, I mean, like I said, their only viable options to fix the quarterback spot is really only 2 things. One is Taysom Hill has to get better with his damn accuracy and put the ball on the wide receivers and not in the ground in front of them. And number 2, throw it, and put it on them where they can catch the ball. He has to be better as a passer. Or number 2, simply, you're going to have to go to a dual quarterback road with Trevor Siemian mixed with Taysom Hill. And really, if the Saints can, and really the goal should be the Saints average 21 points a game as an offense. The defense and the special teams keep playing like they are, and that's good enough for the Saints to win. The Saints defense, if the Saints score 21 points a game and the defense is playing like that and they can maintain that intensity, this should be sufficient enough for the Saints to carry the day, to be honest with you, fam. That should be good enough. That defense is fierce. So, that's something just to think about. All right, and speaking of the game coming up with the Miami Dolphins, the Saints call for the family members to black out the Superdome in Week 16 against the Dolphins. Now, I hope this worked. The Saints, they're calling for a blackout at the Dome. Saints players and family members wear all black to the Dome on Monday night. They want a blackout. But let me tell you something, Saints. You want to black out. This team is 2-4 in the building. The Saints have shown up. The family members have shown up to the Dome in mass quantities all damn season long. And the best that the Black and Gold have given the family base is a 2-4 record at home. That has to stop for the last 2 games of the season. That definitely has to stop. They have to turn that around as fast as they possibly can. 2-4 in your home is not a good place to be. If you're the Black and Gold. But let's get into it. If you made plans to attend Monday night's Saints game with the Dolphins, the team announced Tuesday that they want a blackout in Week 16 with players wearing black jerseys and black pants. Matching black flags will be distributed to the first 50,000 family members to enter the Caesar Superdome 2 as a part of a larger effort to energize the family base and bring back the vaunted home field advantage New Orleans enjoyed in season past. The Saints have only won a single game in New Orleans this season in Week 8's big victory over Tampa. They're otherwise 0-4 at the Superdome in 2021, not including their normal win over the Packers in Week 1 that was relocated to Jacksonville due to Hurricane Ida. So that's a great point. I forgot all about that point. And really, as you can see, that this article brings it into light. The only win happening against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and otherwise they're 0-4 in the Superdome. Remember when they took care of business against Green Bay, that was in Jacksonville. So yes, the Saints have to, and the blackout, maybe they're trying to tap into ghost of season past to kind of tap into some of that energy. So that's not a bad idea to go into the blackout to try to rekindle some of that past stuff going on. So we'll see if it works. But most certainly, the Saints they're going to need to jolt something, kind of reanimate, revigor, or rejuvenate some of the ghosts of season past in terms of drawing all of that energy from the Dome. The Dome slam pack in the days and the games when we there, like the matchup against the Giants. That was most terrible. The Saints were up by double digits and imploded in front of the family base, and it's not a good look. So, yeah, I can appreciate what they're trying to do in terms of getting the blackout going. We're going to need these wins, no doubt about it. So the Miami Dolphins is going to be an intriguing team, and we got to make sure we handle business. So I don't know, a blackout, would you guys let me know how you feel about the blackout? Black and gold will be decked down in black pants, black jerseys. They always look pretty good in that gear, and of course the Dome gonna be in the blackout. So hopefully it'll be enough to kind of get them back to where they're supposed to be in terms of playing in that in the Dome and get some winning going, man. Seriously, man, I'm tired of seeing the Saints lose in the Superdome, and so many of the family base out there is representing and screaming their bloody voices out, and the Saints just go up there mediocre and just give up games. So let's have that trend turn around. All right, B. Khan says, and Jim Kev, they like the black. So I mean, we'll see if that'll have an impact. Hopefully it will, because listen, we need these games. It starts, the last 3 games of the season start with the Monday night matchup, and it's going to be a good one against the Miami Dolphins and the Saints. Can the Saints get 21 points out of their offense is the big question. The defense will show up. The special teams have been very stable as of late. But can the offense score 21 points a contest? If they can do that with the defense and what we have, we should be able to beat the rest of these teams on our slate. But even if you have to mix Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian in the passing package to make it work, then I would do whatever it takes insofar as doing that. They're not going to put Book in there. They're not going to sign a quarterback off the street. It's just too late in the game to do any of those things. So we anticipate that going on. So anyway, that's what I had to cover up on today's TSC Radio as we do a recap as the show's called. Cam Jordan named NFC Defensive Player of the Week after his 2-sack, forced fumble performance, 5-tackle performance in the shutout of the Tampa Bay Skunkaneers. Cam and them get a little payback for what they did to Jameis, and they smacked the Tampa Bay Succaneers down. And, of course, Cam climbs on the all-time sack mark for the black and gold. He's now second on that list behind Ricky Jackson, who has 115, and he has a way to go. A couple of seasons, perhaps, if he can get a double-digit season, depending on where he is at the end of this season with 3 games left. And next year, we'll see how it all shakes. That's a tall order, but that just goes to show you how really good Ricky Jackson was, too, after all those years. And he's also in a very elite club, 100 sack guys, Dwight Freeney, Mathis, Lawrence Taylor, and all these kind of guys. Really good one. He's 34th on the all-time record book with William Fuller, Charles Haley, and Cameron Wake. He's tied with those guys. And he was named Defensive Player of the Week. He was also nominated for the Walter Payton, and he was also named and selected for the Pro Bowl this year. So, like I said, Cam probably had the best week of his career in a very long time. So, also to recap, Cam was named to his 7th Pro Bowl that was put out there. AK-41 Alvin Kamara was named to his 5th Pro Bowl, and he's made the Pro Bowl in each of his first 5 seasons. And no Saint have ever done that. J.T. Gray was named to his first Pro Bowl as a special teams player. So congratulations to J.T. Gray, undrafted guys. And that goes to show you the Saints picking up on these undrafted guys and they're having success. Deontay Harris was a special teamer who made the Pro Bowl a couple of seasons ago. And now you have J.T. Gray making a Pro Bowl. And both of those guys were undrafted players. And it goes to show you that long shot players like a JT Gray and a Deontay Harris, if you put the work in, you can have success at a high level. So congratulations to those fellas. And of course, Marshawn Lattimore selected to his 4th Pro Bowl, and that's the most by any DB in Saints history. So he already set in history for the black and gold. So congratulations to Laddie Daddy, JT Gray, Alvin Kamara, and Killer Cam Jordan, who are having a fantastic week, man. Also, we talked about the Saints placing tight end Adam Trautman on the C19 list. He joins Juwan Johnson. And hopefully it's not the entire tight end room, because that's looked like what it might be if it keeps trending that way. So we'll know something is wrong if Nick Vanette's added to it next week. 2 tight ends, meaning something's going on in the tight end room. So we'll see where that lead's going on. But both those guys on the C19 list. And then, of course, the Saints made some moves today. They signed defensive tackle Braxton Hoyt. We covered that on TSC Q&A Live yesterday. We talked about who these guys is. Braxton Hoyt, who spent some time with the Tennessee Titans. That's a big defensive tackle. He's about 6'2", 6'1", 300 pounds. So he's a guy that they added to the practice squad to give the Saints another defensive lineman to help out in case of injury. Now, as a result, the Saints terminated the contract of practice squad linebacker Chase Hansen to replace Hoyt onto the practice squad. They got rid of Chase Hansen off the practice squad, as Adam Trautman and both Juwan Johnson are on the C19 list. And also, we talked about the Saints still in this thing for a playoff race, even though people are interested in knowing where the Saints fall in the playoff race. My thing is the Saints just need to just take care of business and forget about the playoffs and just simply focus on one game at a time. That's what got them back to 500, the one game at a time approach, and that's what will get them over 500. Saints can win the third in a row against a very difficult Miami team who's on a streak right now. They're hot, and they're feeling themselves. The Dolphins are climbed back into this thing, and they're fighting their asses off, and the Saints going to have to do whatever they can do in this game. And like I said, if they could score 21 and the defense keep playing like what it is, we should beat the Miami Dolphins, for real. All right, so also, as we keep going, we talked about the blackout, where that the team is causing for the family members to wear all black, as the team will be draped out and dripped up in the black. So we'll see whether or not that'll help out. But like the article astutely mentioned from Saints Wire, is that, and this is eye-opening to talk about the Saints, tribulations at home this season. It's really, really eye-opening to know the Saints are that bad. The only win in the Superdome this season was against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Week 8. Outside of that, they lost every game in the Dome except for the Tampa Bay Buccaneer matchup. The Giants game, y'all remember the game. And, of course, the Packers win. That one was in Jacksonville, remember, when they beat the Packers in Week 1 badly? That was a Jacksonville matchup. So, I mean, that just shines a light on how bad the Saints are. They're 1-4 in the Dome. 1-4. 1-4, and the only one coming because of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Got to change it around, man. Most certainly, especially with this week coming up, you can't afford to be playing like that. We got to figure it out. It's going to be fun watching this, and I think we do, man. But, of course, we're going to keep on it. But anyway, that'll do it for this episode of TSC Radio, man. I appreciate the family members for joining me on this one. We'll be back on our Thursday stream tomorrow, fam, as we're going to have a special guest preview. It'll be either tomorrow or Friday. We'll have Miami Dolphin podcaster to come and chime in, man, and have some fun as we talk about the black and gold. So we'll let you know. But I'm Big Q on this broadcast. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and share the stream. Much love to the fam. Who dat to the Black and Gold Nation, and we out. Peace.
Big ups to the family members for supporting the live stream. First and foremost, thank you for all that you've done. I'd like to give a special shout out to all the family members out there that have been responsible for the growth of helping the platform by sharing of the links, as well as many other positive things, shopping at the merch shops. But if you really want to take it to the next level, consider joining our Patreon. Patreon.com/the PRO Media Network. Patreon.com/the PRO Media Network, where you can join up and become a monthly contributor. We have several different options to become become a Patreon member from $1 going up. So it depends on your level of commitment, and we really appreciate what you guys are doing as you continue to see the growth and success at the PRO Media Network. If you want to ratchet up your support, please feel free to become a member at the patreon.com/the PRO Media Network, where you will have access to lock content, the TSC Q&A live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Over 20 shows are available right now. And also On Q with Big Q, where we talk about those real topics and subjects, are also over 10 shows of those are available. You can get access to lock content and plus visual respect on our scrolling banners from YouTube members to our Patreon champions. So please feel free to join now at patreon.com/the Pro Media Network. Thank you very much.
I'm a Saints and Pelicans fan, so the only podcast I can get my fix is The Sports Coma with Big Q. The guy's intense, funny, and they always keep it real.
Check out The Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Follow The Sports Coma on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.